Hi, so welcome back to our video lesson starting out the 2025 season. Managed to get outside today. As we can see, the weather's been beautiful for the last week or so, but like most courses, we've undergone course maintenance a few weeks ago. Most courses are doing it now, and there's not been enough temperature in the soil to promote any growth yet. We're just ready to go. So the course has been left with a few scars of the work, the essential work. On the greens as well, we've got some hollow tined holes full of sand that are just waiting to be grown through. So this means that we're going to get some bumpy conditions, we're going to get some poor, bare, sandy lies, which nobody likes. And even when the ball lands on the green, we don't know if it's going to hit a bit of grass or the edge of a hole or a sand that's in the middle of the hole. So there's lots and lots of variables. I think I'm just going to share with you a couple of ideas that you can try out to get the most out of your rounds in these very, very testing conditions. We had a lot of people at the weekend in the medal struggling with their shots around the green in these conditions. So I'll just give you a couple of ideas. Let's start with what we'd love to do if the grass was flush and grown through and the greens were pure. I've got my lob wedge here, my 58-degree club. I've got a bank to go up just before the green, and in a perfect world, I'd take the bank out of play, I'd trust my strike off the conditions, and I'd choose my landing point, and I would have no problem confidence wise with that. But like most people, when I look at this lie here, and every shot decision you make is lie based, bear in mind, I don't fancy it much. There's very hard ground, it's been dry, there's sand everywhere, there's not a blade of grass under my ball, and it's sitting in a slight depression. So nothing really going for this choice of shot. If I were to try and execute it, I'd do what I normally do, try and use the bounce of the club to skid through, throw it about halfway, and let's see what happens. Okay, you could hear the bounce there. It's landed really soft, as if it's landed on a bit of sand, so it hasn't got there. It's left about, I don't know, 10, 12 feet of putt, which you'd be disappointed with from this range. And the more I practice it, it doesn't get any better, because it just depends on the lie. There'll be some good ones. There you go, gone a little bit further, but the strike, you can hear it, is clunky, it's hard to get. If I move the ball back in my stance to increase the chance of a good strike, then I'm going to take the bounce of club out of play and bring into play the sharper leading edge, and I'm going to risk the chance of getting it duff and leaving it on this bank right in front of me here. So let's put that away while these conditions prevail, and let's see if we can make some other choices. I've now gone to my 9-iron. You could choose 7, 8, 9, 5-iron, doesn't really matter. I really want you to have a club where there's going to be less loft on the club, so there's more forward momentum of the ball, and the stroke that's required, the length of swing that's required, is shorter by definition, because not as much of the energy is going into upward motion, it's more going along. So if we were to miss-hit this slightly thin, for example, it's still going to do a job. It's still going to try and make its way across the bumpy green towards the hole. So let's pick a really bad lie again here. Flat bare lie in a little hollow, and this time I'm going to adopt a putting stroke. I'm literally, in my mind's eye, I am putting this with a 9-iron, so I'm going to go down the grip a little bit, stand to it relatively neutral, and I'm just going to use my shoulder action to putt it. I don't want to encourage any wrist hinge, because that brings into play the ground before or after the ball, brings into play the leading edge as well. So try and keep nice and rigid here and just use a putting stroke. It might be that this isn't the best strike we produce, but I'm telling you this so that you get away with the odd poorer strike off these surfaces, which is going to happen. So aiming slightly left, standing out close to it like a putter, rock my shoulders. Okay, it's caught the top of the bank, but if you just watch that ball, look, I mean, it's gone to stone dead. And it's just over time, if you hit 100 shots, I guarantee you they would be closer using a putting action with a lower lofted club off these lies than with trying to play the normal shot, which I think most people feel an urgency to try and play the right shot in golf, but the right shot in these conditions might be something different. Finally, for those who are not at all happy chipping at the best of times, let alone when the lies are like this, be sensible. Yes, let's use a club which we know we can hit quite well, the putter. You might want to use a rescue club or even a 5-wood or 3-wood, but I find the shaft's a bit long on there. So a putter. Now I know we've got scars in the ground here, we've got a horrible lie again, and we've got a bumpy green surface. So lower your expectations. Think, if I can put this inside 6 feet, I'm going to have a 50-50 chance possibly of holing it. Just play with your expectations to manage them and think, well, you know, I'll do the best I can. All I don't want to do is take 2 or 3 chips as I fat it up the hill here. So again, normal putting stroke, clearly going to have to hit it harder because of the uphill and the bobbly lies. I can take his count into a little bit more borrow, so aim this fractionally further left and just see if we can run these up the hill. You can see the ball there tracking around. There it comes. They are. It's pulled up 2 feet short. So it's just going to be over time the most sensible shot in these conditions. Sometimes you've just got to let go of what you know is the shot you want to play, the sexy shot if you like, and just play something which gets the job done. Hope that's helped. Please come and have a lesson with any one of us if you want any help in trying to manage your game under these conditions. And it won't be long before the grass is grown and we're playing all sorts of different variety of shots around the green rather than having to just make do. So take care, play well, we'll see you soon.